Hi, hello. Hi, everyone. Hello. This is Channel Messages, and I thought I was recording. I was speaking for quite a while, and I was not. And it's just what happens. I've been thinking of like new intros and what I could say when I press record. And I really was feeling so good the first go around I was speaking, and I noticed I wasn't recording. So I can't bring up the magic again. I can't. It's just not going to happen. Anyway, how are you guys doing? It is Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Memorial Day. Happy 3-day weekend for those of you who have off today. Sorry for those of you who may have had to work. I know you may not have a choice, and I also get that you need money to survive, so you got to do what you got to do. I would have worked today. If I had, sessions, I would have just had my sessions. Got to get them in when I can, but I didn't have any today. So, anyway, I'm getting off track. We have 3 people to channel today. 3 prominent, important. Well, one is not an actual person. It's more of a collective, an amalgamation of things that I'll explain when I get to it. But how are you doing? How was your weekend? I hope it was restful. I hope it was restorative. I hope you did something you enjoyed. I hope you managed your stress. I hope you stayed away from the news. I hope you were able to get up off the floor. All of those things. I hope for you. My weekend was good. I just, chilled at the house as I usually do. Got my hair done. I'm going to see Beyonce this week, so something to look forward to. It's the little things, but this is a big thing. How are you feeling? Let's check in with ourselves for a little bit right now. See, what emotions are we experiencing inside? It's important to check in, especially nowadays, all of the time, but it's most important now to do that. Okay, so see how you're feeling, just observe. Maybe say how you feel out loud. I'm feeling pretty calm, which is good. I'm actually feeling kind of humorous, which is nice. So hopefully that will end a little energetic, which is not all nice because I have been feeling exhausted the past few weeks. So let's see who we're channeling. First of all, everything I say here is for entertainment purposes only, for informational purposes only. Everything I say here is alleged, even in the comments. And if you want a personal reading, you can click more in the description of this video, and the link will be there. Or you can simply send me an email if you have no idea what I'm talking about, moonlightenergy15@gmail.com. And I will send you the link to request a reading from me. There's something else I want. Oh, yes. There's no Small Business Monday today because I didn't receive any links. If you want me to promote your business, your podcast, your YouTube page, let me know. Send me an email, moonlightenergy15@gmail.com. Okay? Okay. So, who am I channeling today? I am channeling in no particular, well, there's a particular order. I'm channeling, I'll do it in order of the people I'm channeling. Barbra Jordan. Okay. She is a very important person. First African American woman to be elected. Well, yes, to be elected to the Texas State Senate since Reconstruction. Okay, so I'm going to channel her. I'm going to channel John McCain. Why not? And I'm going to channel the collective oversoul of the American people. Okay, what is that, you would ask? I will explain when I get there. All right, so buckle down, get comfortable, get some snacks. If you want to get some snacks, go, pause this video, run to the kitchen, make some tea or something delicious that you can eat while you listen to the soothing sounds of my voice. Okay? I was going to say something and I forgot. Oh yes, you could also like this video right now if you want. That would be good. That would be nice. I would appreciate that. And I do appreciate you guys. You guys support. You show up. You show out. And I appreciate everyone, the members, supporters. Look out for, if you are not a member or a supporter or follower of me on Ko-fi, please go and do that. I'm going to start posting on there more. I'm also going to, I was going to say something. Oh, yes. If you want the link to my Ko-fi page, just email me. Okay. But yeah, let's start. Let's get into it. So I've been thinking about how I can change, not change, do things as, expand and do things a little bit different. I usually do invocations when I channel someone. I usually do it silently to myself. But I decided, why not add an invocation to on recording out loud? And so that's what I'll start doing. The indication is an acknowledgement, is when you call the person. Okay, call them to you into your space. So I'm going to do Barbra Jordan first. Okay, and Barbra Jordan was an extremely prominent African American lawyer, politician, author, and she was known for her incredible oratory skills, okay, her moral clarity, and her opinions and advocacy of constitutional rights and issues. Okay, she was also elected to the state senate. I mean, not the state senate, to the Senate, okay, in Congress. And she is known the most for the speech she gave, a powerful speech, please go look it up, during the Richard Nixon impeachment. Okay. So, Barbra Jordan, I'm going to do the invocation and see if she will make an appearance, if she wants to talk to me. Okay. Okay, let me take a deep breath here. I said a lot of words. Okay. Barbra Jordan, I honor your legacy of justice, truth, and service to the American people. I invite your wisdom into the space for the highest good of the collective. I open myself to receive your guidance in reverence and humility. With reverence. Her energy feels like the energy is like super heavy. It's strong, is what I mean. It's a very strong presence. She said, yes, I'm here. I asked her if she minded if I asked her a few questions, and she said, yes, I'm here. Okay. Whew. How do you perceive the current state of American democracy? She said, the state of American democracy is simple. She said there are ways of getting things done and there are ways of not getting things done. And what I see now, no one wants to get things done in the right way. She said yes, and in the right way, I mean in working together. She said there's a clear line drawn in the sand and both parts need to work together, meaning both sides need to work together in order to have a working government. She said if they can't get it together, they will fail. What constitutional principles do you believe are the most at risk right now? Mm. She said all of them. All of them. She repeated herself. She said, I say that because there is a lack of decency, respect, and understanding of the Constitution. She said, there is no pride here. There needs to be a real understanding of the Constitution, and there just isn't. And it feels like she's sort of confused as to why. Not in an intellectual sense, but just like, how does this work? What? Well, how did you get here? She's asking where's the wisdom? She said there are problems. She said this country has always had problems, but she's saying there's a moral understanding that needs to happen with the Constitution. She's saying there's a disconnect. She's saying there's a disconnect in where the boundaries lie. Where the boundaries lie for the treatment of our nation. What wisdom can you share about protecting the integrity of democratic institutions? She said there has to be honesty. She said there has to be a demand of truth and honesty. She's saying these are the pillars of our nation. She said corruption has to be called out. She's saying there needs to be someone willing to call it out. And she's saying not to blame others. She's saying not to blame others, but to show the importance of integrity. She said there is righteousness in that. What truths need to be spoken more boldly in today's political climate? Whew. She said that there are liars and thieves among us. She said you just have to say what it is. There's no other way around that. She said call the president dishonest. She said call the president dishonest. And she's referencing the House and the Senate. And she's saying call your president a liar. And she's saying the worst thing that could happen, you're not going to get, or rather, it doesn't matter the consequence you get. she's sort of saying that. No, she's saying not that it doesn't matter. She's correcting me. She's saying not that it doesn't matter, but you have to be bold in order to embolden others. She's saying America is in a crisis. It has been in a crisis for quite some time now. Wow. She said the wheels have fallen off. She's referencing a lot of issues and highlighting the fact that they are more intense than ever. I read that you worked really well with your colleagues. Being a Democrat, you worked well with Republicans, and a lot of them supported you as well. And so my question is, how can we hold our leaders ethically accountable without losing compassion? Because a lot of people are angry. I'm angry. And a lot of people are losing patience with their representatives. And so they do, a lot of people do need to be held accountable. And you were able to cross the aisle and work with them and get them to support some of the things that you advocated for. So how can we hold them ethically accountable with what is going on? She said, first she said, there is a saying. I don't know the saying. I've never heard it. She said, know what lies in the grass before walking into it. She said you have to demand action. She said you have to hold their feet to the fire. You have to demand action. She said there are a lot of those who, she said, from the looks of the environment and the climate in Congress, there are a lot of those who are only looking out for their best interests. She said that is clear. She said, but the people will always get tired. She said, but there are those who do want. She said, but there are those who do want things to work. There are those who do want progress, and their voices need to be heard, or their voices. She's saying there needs to be what's the word? What is she saying? She's not saying support it, but I'm going to say the word support it. Like, we have to uplift them, even if it's someone who doesn't represent our state, is what I'm getting. She's saying this is a new, it's interesting. She's saying this is a new Congress, and they need to be challenged. What advice do you have for those fighting systematic injustice in modern America? She said, remember, man, she said, remember, that's why the Constitution exists. She said, she's emphasizing this. This is the most important message, I feel. Or at least that's resonating with me the most. Because I sort of forgot that. I didn't forget it, but she's saying, like, you remember what the Constitution means and stands for. Those are your rights, is what she's saying. She's saying the system was built to oppress. She said, but you can oppress the system and challenge its standards by fully understanding what the Constitution stands for. She's saying it is the most important document, and she's saying it's why I'm she's saying I'm hearing, rather, standing here today, but she's referencing her her experience becoming a lawyer, winning her elections, working with her colleagues, doing a lot of bipartisan work. And she's saying that's why, because of the Constitution. She's saying, the fight for rights, for civil rights, for, all of these fights that marginalized people have to go through, the vulnerable have to go through in this country. One of the things that is always the most important thing brought up is the Constitution. And she's saying, read it. She's saying that. Read it, understand it, because a lot of people don't. And they do intellectually, but it's like she's saying this is the most important. She's saying, I have seen and heard terrible things, she said, but I've also seen so much progress and change. She's saying the fight will always continue until we get it right. How can everyday people rediscover the power of their voice? She said, education, plain and simple. She's saying, I'm not just speaking institutionally, I'm saying people have to educate themselves and be willing to. She's saying, read the history, read the truth, obtain the knowledge. It's the best way to fight. Is there any higher purpose behind the turbulence the U.S. is facing today? She said, I believe the purpose is to learn. She said, so many don't learn. She's saying how to fight, how to stand up, how to speak. She's saying again, we have to uplift those voices that can share knowledge and wisdom and information. She said it's the most powerful tool. She's saying we will overcome this. We will get through this. But she's saying there's a very powerful lesson here, many lessons. And she's saying one of them is to work together, referencing she's saying, yes, work together. She's saying everyone who is oppressed must work together. And she's saying in the energy, she's saying we have to sort of, there's so much division among the marginalized and the oppressed, the colonized. There's a division, and she's like, that has to be put to the side. She's saying that has to be put to the side. Okay, Barbara, I'm going to disconnect now. Thank you for speaking to me. Wow. She said, thank you for talking to me. I'm here whenever you need me. Thank you. Phew. Okay. Okay. That was Senator Barbra Jordan. She put some things in perspective for me. Actually, quite a lot of things. One of the things that stuck out the most for me is her feelings about the Constitution, her thoughts on the Constitution and how important it is, despite the clear disrespect towards it. That causes a lot of frustration and even, worry and anxiety. It can be quite infuriating, but when you zoom back and look at the whole picture and the bigger picture, when you're not ignoring or dismissing the corruption and, roguery and just treason and the disrespect, the lack of integrity. I know that's a lot. When you try to put that to the side and have a more clearer lens and look away from that it can be a distraction and can bring up such overwhelming feelings for a person that can sort of freeze you from trying to think more critically and see how you can actually challenge this with the Constitution and what it's there for. He has not changed the Constitution. He is being wholly disrespectful, him and his, tribe, trying to destroy the Constitution. But what she's saying to me is that it still stands. It has it has stood the test of time. And people like her and people who, you have senators and House representatives who do want things to work, they have to be uplifted and their voices have to be expanded so people could listen and not focus so much on that person and what he is doing that's causing confusion. A lot of it is static and nonsense. And so I'm not saying to ignore those who are sadly affected, but those of us who aren't, have to try to still ourselves and arm ourselves with the right tools to deal with this. Okay, so that's the message that I got from her. I often think about it takes so much to be a black person or a brown person, a black woman in this country. And you have the things that we have to experience or the work we have to do, we do it and we experience it, the things that go both good and bad. But looking at her being the first the first African American woman to be voted into the Texas Senate since the Reconstruction era, and during the 60s, that's astounding, amazing. And at the same time, it wasn't even a century ago. I always have to remember that this nation is sort of young. And it's turning, well, what I'm trying to say before I move on to the next person, what I'm trying to say is she being a black woman and what the core issues of this country is, to have the success she has had, to be where she came from, to where she, and to know what's important. It just sort of like is what America says they stand for. And people like her, those sort of examples are, we have to look at like, okay, yeah, I remember now. We can't be distracted or forget. Okay? All right, John McCain. Let's do John McCain. Okay, John McCain was a senator. Okay. He was a conservative. He didn't start out as one. I remember when he was running for president the first time as a Democrat. He was interesting. He has had a lifetime of service. he saw the most. We know who John McCain is, so I don't need to, go to him. If you don't, look him up. One thing I remember about John McCain is he foresaw what the Republican Party was turning into. And this was during the Tea Party when they rolled up into the scene with Sarah Palin. And he saw what they was turning into. He foresaw what would happen. And so now here we are. We have extremists running the Republican Party. You have MAGA running the Republican Party. It's the Tea Party shaped into this sort of extreme, mega racist, corrupt, weird, I don't even know, party. And he saw that happening. He knew it would happen. He saw what was happening. And I'm going to channel him. Okay. I'm going to see if he wants to connect to me. And I'm going to do an invocation. Senator McCain, I acknowledge your lifetime of service, sacrifice, and dedication to integrity and leadership. I invite your spirit into the sacred space for guidance on behalf of the American Collective, and I welcome some of your words with humility and respect. First of all, I could feel him. I could feel him coming in as I was talking before I even did the invocation, and I could feel you standing behind me. It feels as though he has a bit of a sense of humor. He's very happy. His energy feels very happy, upbeat. He said, what can I, what is he saying? He said, what can I do you for? He said, sure, you can ask me some questions. Okay. What's your perspective on the current political climate and its moral challenges? He said, well, having that guy in the White House isn't helping anything. He said, I think we're in a real crisis here, and you're right, I did see this happening. He said, I would hope there would be those in the Republican Party that could stand up to fascism. He said, but my hopes might be dashed. He's saying, he's referencing, or not referencing. I keep hearing him say there's a new era coming. What is it? He said a new wave of politicians meant to fight for the rights of the people. He said, I see it clear as day. I feel like he said, I see it as clear as day. He's saying they won't be Republican. They won't be Dem. He said Dem. He said they won't be independent. They'll be something else. He said that is what will come of all of that, from all of this. I feel like John McCain have his own gifts. This is more than intelligence that he is saying to me right now, because first of all, I could feel it in his energy, and it feels as though, when he was a war prisoner, I could see it clear as day. I could see him captured. I could see him suffering. He's not showing me that. I just feel the connection that I have right now with his presence and his energy. That was an extremely significant moment in his life where these gifts developed from that experience, that trauma. Wow. He said, well, that's something. Do you know, can you tell me when this would happen? This new era of politicians? He said much sooner. He said within the year. This is sort of like what the other man was saying that I channeled. Sam Roberts, Captain Sam Roberts. Was it Sam Roberts? I feel like my dyslexia is mixing his name up. Bear with me, guys. I'm ADHD veering for 1 second because Robert Small, see? It wasn't even his name. Captain Robert Small said a similar thing. He's saying before I veered off, he's saying within a year, and what he's saying is they'll start off small. It won't be something that, he says, something that will build and build in momentum. He's saying people will turn to them, which is interesting about it is like, as he's telling me this, I'm feeling in the energy, like, can you just do that? Is my question rather. It would be difficult to start. He's saying they will be pushed so far they won't. He's saying they will be pushed so far they won't have a choice. And he is saying these politicians, and I'm getting the sense that these are already people in Congress. And he's saying the phrase descent due to fractions. Interesting. Descent due to fractions. What truths are being ignored or distorted in today's discourse? He said that the average public is blinded to truly what's going on, or to what's truly going on. Wow, that's a bold statement. He said, I'm not sure the average person, he said, I'm not sure the average person truly knows or maybe truly cares about what is happening to our democracy. He said, through no fault of their own. He's saying this is done purposely. He's saying so many different, I want you to understand something, what is happening. Because I feel like that I don't know how this is happening. I don't know how it's possible. But he's answering the question, right? And showing me things at the same time. And that happens. That's not strange. But it feels strange because I'm catching all of it. One, I usually don't. It's like he's doing something in his energy, a skill, or I don't know how to describe it, holding me in place, my focus. But I'm able to look at everything he's saying at different times, but in the same, I'm saying it wrong. He's saying different things in one message and showing me an image, and I'm understanding it. I've never had that happen before, like sharply like that. And it's like It's very fascinating. This man is he kind of feels, well, I'm not going to say that because I don't want to, I'm not, anyway, that's not important. What he's showing, what he was saying is, it's not done purposely. And he's showing me, he said, can you imagine, he showed me a little square card with it's um, the Constitution on it. And the Declaration of Independence, a card. And he's saying, do you know, can you, no, he's saying, can you imagine how, can you imagine he's saying, can you imagine how Republicans would feel if every American was given a copy of the Constitution? It was handed out to them during election time, campaigning. That's what he's referencing and saying. Interesting. 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 Where should America be focusing its attention to realign with its core values? Or the values that, you know what I mean? He said they should be focused on getting that man out. He said getting him out. He's upset. He said he shouldn't be there. And that's what he said. He said I heard him say maligned, and he corrected himself and said malignant. He's malignant. He said there has to be a collective effort to remove him. I agree. I don't disagree with that. Would they do it? He said they would, most definitely. They're waiting on something. Who's they? I said, he said, those, he answered, those who are going to remove him. I said, they. I said, who they? And I said, can you show me an image of them? And he keeps showing me Kamala. I don't know how would that happen? He said, there is a distinct change happening behind the scenes. And he's saying, hardly anyone knows about it. And he really won't go further. What messages does your soul have for the American people at this time? He's saying, remember, we are strong not just as a nation, but individually. Interesting. He's saying this country can show itself for what it says it is. And I feel in the energy is referencing, he's acknowledging what the country is supposed to stand for does not match, does not align with what is happening and what has been happening for a long time. He's acknowledging that. He said, I have evolved. Wow. Is there a karmic or spiritual lesson the U.S. is being asked to learn? You said, oh, you're getting hokey. Oh, you're getting hokey. That's what he said. He's saying this question makes him think about his time in captivity. And he first said, I thought about my family a lot. He said, he said, yes, and I thought about my country a lot. I thought about the values. He said, I thought about its strength, its values that it's supposed to stand for. He said, that kept me alive. Wow. He's saying, I'm not sure about a karmic lesson, but we have to strive for those values. He's saying, I was never perfect, but I tried to strive for those values. Dignity, integrity, respect for humanity. He said, I feel I have evolved in an understanding of what that means here and now. He's saying we have to hold on to that as a society. Okay. Thank you, John McCain. Thank you, Senator John McCain. Thank you for connecting with me. I'm going to disconnect now. That was interesting. He is... I've always not always, I've had some criticisms. Just like with anyone, we can have criticisms about John McCain. But I always, I know there were things he has said or voted for that in the past made me side-eye him. But energetically, he didn't feel distrustful to me, energetically speaking. His energy was never like, never. When I would see him, I never felt a ways about John McCain. And it's very interesting talking to him now because he said to me, I have evolved. You know, yeah, I have expanded. That's what he meant. Or my ideas have evolved. And knowing what's important. He definitely has some gifts, and they formed from his experience. That experience is in his energy. What he being held captive, being a prisoner of war, changed him completely. Okay, that was cool. All right, let's move on to... I can't believe that says it's 4:30. What was I doing? Sometimes when I do this, time, I don't know what happens to time. It just fades away. It just fades away. And that's pretty crazy. All right, so I want to try something that I'm not sure I'll be able to do, but I want to channel the Oversoul of the American people. And what is that? Not a single spirit, but like a collection of... what is it? Let me think for a second. Evolving spirit, being made up of thoughts, emotions, karma, aspirations, traumas, soul contracts, etc. Okay? Like the higher self of the nation. Let's see if I can connect there. Okay? I don't know how this is going to work, but I think I can do this. I look at energies all the time. It's one of the first things I understood that I can do. So it's sort of just like what I do usually. Check in with the energy of the collective. Okay? Let's see if I can do this. Okay. Let's do an invocation. I welcome your presence into this sacred space. Oversoul of the American people, I ask to speak with you in humility and service, that I may listen to your wisdom, understand your longings, and receive your truth for the healing and awakening of this land. Speak now through the currents of my intuition and guide me toward what the people need to remember. If I sound a little robotic, because I may be in a trance, okay? What is the current emotional and spiritual state of the American people? Fear, fear of abandonment, anxiety, anxiety from both sides. What wounds are most in need of healing within the collective right now? Trauma, racial trauma, People are hungry. There is hatred. Fear of the unknown. War and violence. What cycle is the American collective currently passing through? Fear creates a vacuum. The unknown. You are in shadow guidance. For a rebirth. What parts of national identity need to be released for transformation to occur? Fear of the unknown. The lack of understanding. Willful ignorance. Greed. Lack of compassion. We cannot just simply tolerate people. We have to accept them. What karmic depths or unresolved ancestral energies are still playing out in this nation? Terror. fear. Inequity. Violence. Death. How can we begin to reconcile with historical traumas? Listen to one another. Tell the truth. Do not feel ashamed. History must be discussed. Learn from history. Know the truth. To heal is to know. Our histories are intertwined. Acknowledging that can bring healing. Are there ancestral forces calling to be honored or heard? Yes, the mother of all. She calls us to walk the line together. to create a cycle of healing. What hidden strengths are emerging within the people right now? Pride. Pride in who we are as individuals. Pride as who we are together. Pride in what we stand for. And hope. How can individuals align themselves with the nation's highest timeline? You must walk through your shadow period. You must face this darkness. There's fire as you walk through it. The cool water on the other side. You'll be relieved. Okay. Wow, I feel dizzy a little bit. All right, so that was that. And I hope this resonated with you guys. I hope you liked this video. Please subscribe. That's all I got. And I will see you soon for moving forward. I'm going to take a little break and then I'm going to upload this video. And I'll see you guys again soon. Okay? Like the video. Bye.